Uniwersytet Śląski w Katowicach to bardzo dobre miejsce do pracy, dające duże możliwości w zakresie współpracy międzynarodowej. Od lipca 2020 roku jesteśmy członkiem Uniwersytetu Europejskiego Transform for Europe.
A laboratórium tökéletesen felszerelt, és egy kiváló helyszínt biztosít a tudományos kutatásaim elvégzésére. A kollégáim rendkívül segítőkészek.
Lavoro come microbiologo all'Università di Silesia in Katowice, dove mi occupo nella mia attività di ricerca di migliorare il futuro del nostro ambiente.
The University of Silesia is an ever-growing and evolving scientific institution where young scientists, researchers and students can come, learn, grow, build their career and then make a contribution back to the local population.
실레지아 대학교에서 연구하고 강의하는 것은 저에게 폴란드 문화와 폴란드 언어를 더욱 깊게 이야기해주며 유서 깊고 다양한 실레지아 문화를 만나게 해줍니다.
Jako matka samoživitelka oceňuji možnost přizpůsobit si rozvrh hodin svým potřebám. Jako akademický pracovník plně pociťuji podporu univerzity, pokud jde o mój akademický rozvoj.
Powiększanie dobra wspólnego, jakimi są nauka i edukacja, oto unikalny składnik pracy w Uniwersytecie Śląskim.
Uniwersytet tworzą ludzie. To im staramy się zapewnić dobre warunki pracy oraz atmosferę sprzyjającą prowadzeniu badań na międzynarodowym poziomie. Działania podejmowane przez Uniwersytet są zgodne z zaleceniami Europejskiej Strategii przy zatrudnianiu naukowców, o czym świadczy przyznane Uniwersytetowi wyróżnienie HR Excellence in Research.
Nazywam się Małgorzata Myśliwiec, jestem profesorem w Instytucie Nauk Politycznych Uniwersytetu Śląskiego w Katowicach.
Sono Franco Magurno. Lavoro come microbiologo all'Università di Silesia in Katowice.
Nádudvari Ádám vagyok, és a Sziléziai Egyetem természettudományi tanszékén dolgozok, adjunktusként másfél éve.
Jmenuji se Lucie Zormanová a pracuji na Institutu pedagogiky jako odborný asistent.
My name's Alexander Lowe. I work in the Institute of Chemistry as part of the Faculty of Science and Technology.
저는 실레지아 대학교에서 연구하는 유창일이라고 합니다.
Nazywam się Ryszard Koziołek. Jestem nauczycielem, badaczem, profesorem, rektorem Uniwersytetu Śląskiego.
Nazywam się Małgorzata Chrupa-Łapniak, jestem psychologiem i pracuję w dziale HR Uniwersytetu Śląskiego.
Hello, my name is Patrycja Kierlik and I am a coordinator of virtual job fair Nice2MeetUS. I am delighted to welcome you to the first day of this unique event. Over the next 3 days you will have the opportunity to discover the unusual workplace, which is University of Silesia in Katowice. It will be an excellent possibility to learn more about the specific of our work at our university. Today we are going to provide you with more information about Faculty of Humanities, Faculty of Natural Sciences, Faculty of Social Sciences, and last but not least, Foreign Language Teaching Center. The full agenda can be found on our website, which is linked below. You can find their contact details of our speakers. If you have any questions, please feel free to text us. And now, Professor Leszek Drąg from the Faculty of Humanities will be the first to present his department. Professor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning. It's a pleasure to introduce the Faculty of Humanities, the biggest faculty of the University of Silesia in terms of the number of students and the number of faculty positions, the currently held faculty positions. Well, in my personal opinion, it's obviously the best faculty of the entire university too. My name is Leszek Drąg. I'm Associate Dean for Research in the Faculty of Humanities. And I'm going to talk about the faculty as such, its research institutes, the structure and its potential, as well as its prospects for the future. My focus will be mostly on what we currently offer as a research institution, or as a matter of fact, as a cluster of research institutes. I will be also happy to say a few words about a few words of encouragement for those who are interested in what we hope to develop or introduce in the coming months or years, also in the context of job opportunities. First, I want to talk about the structure of the faculty, which largely emerges from the decisions taken by the leaders of the university a couple of years ago. As a consequence, we have two largely independent sectors or tiers, if you like. Research is done in research institutes, which you can see on the left here. A little bit like British research clusters or research centers, in fact. While teaching, that you can see on the right, while teaching is organized and supervised within schools and degree programs, 25 degree programs altogether. What you can see in the presentation is just a sample of the degree programs that we offer. They range from art history, modern languages, to digital communication, historical tourism, or creative writing. What brings teaching and research together is the simple fact that most of our faculty positions involve both research and teaching. Now, in the Faculty of Humanities, we believe in integrating those two. That is, teaching is equally important to us, and our teaching offer is quite rich and variegated, as you can imagine. While most of our faculty members successfully translate their research into their own teaching. Still, we also have some teaching-only positions, especially when it comes to modern languages. When you have a look at the structure of the faculty, I hope you can see that in the presentation, you will see that our research is organized into 6 disciplines. Which not so much reflects the boundaries and actual research interests of our faculty members, excuse me, as it's an effect of institutional decisions inspired by statewide regulations and Polish classifications of research into fields and disciplines. Now, the truth is that many of our researchers work across those boundaries. Getting involved in interdisciplinary projects that I'm going to mention in a moment when I discuss individual research institutes. Also, there is considerable overlap between the disciplines within the Faculty of Humanities here, and I will try to emphasize that as we go along. Right. Just a few words about our locations, 2 major locations connected with research in the Faculty of Humanities. As I have just said, those 2 locations refer only to our research institutes, because we also do some teaching in Cieszyn, which is one of the 4 major campuses of the University of Silesia. Our research institutes are situated in Katowice, that's the picture on the left, and there's the Sosnowiec campus on the right. Sosnowiec is just a few miles away from Katowice, but the interesting thing about those two locations is that they used to be separated by a border. I could actually tell you hundreds of stories about the historical reasons and complications connected with the geographical distribution of our research institutes. But we don't have time for that, so I will just mention that they have affected, I mean, the border that we used to have in Upper Silesia, in the Zagłębie region, made it responsible for the fact that we can speak of a borderland territory, of a borderland occupied by the current locations of the campuses of the University of Silesia, and specifically the Faculty of Humanities. Most of the research institutes, as you can see on the left, most of the research institutes are located in a modern urban campus right in the middle of Katowice. It's a perfect location, very much appreciated by our students as well. The location allows for a degree of integration of our academic community with its immediate social environment. Likewise, in Sosnowiec, the campus is part of a vibrant city of 200,000 inhabitants, one of the biggest cities in the region. Now, speak of the region, we are talking about one administrative division called voivodeship in Poland, which is roughly an equivalent of a county. But historically, the current administrative region comprises several different several different regions with complex ethnic makeups and cultural identities. The University of Silesia is located in the heart of what used to be the most important industrial center, the center of heavy industry in this part of Europe, as a matter of fact. And now we as academics are proud to contribute to the transformation of this region into a post-industrial one with heavy emphasis on education, quality research, and new technologies. Okay, here is what we are specifically proud of, what we are especially proud of, and what definitely constitutes an asset or assets of our faculty. I think that the sheer numbers tell the whole story, but let me just go over some of those statistics. The Faculty of Humanities was awarded the highest rank for research a couple of years ago during the so-called evaluation process. Right now we are waiting for current results of the evaluation process, and we hope to receive similar high ranks especially for research done in our institutes. We are proud to have 25 BA or MA degree programs which we offer to our students. Altogether, there are 6,000 undergraduate and graduate students in the Faculty of Humanities, and also a staggering number of 250 PhD students that are associated with the Faculty of Humanities. Those students are taught by 600 academic teachers, and those include 458 researchers. So as you can imagine, there are also some teaching-only positions, but the majority of our academic teachers are also researchers, and that's also an impressive number, I believe. We have 45 students associations. We are proud to be offering international mobility and lots of partnerships, and both our students and our faculty benefit from those opportunities connected with international mobility. We have agreements, partnership agreements with many universities in the European Union, but also outside the European Union, the United States and Canada and elsewhere. One of the things that I want to emphasize here throughout this presentation is that our entire university, but also the Faculty of Humanities, but puts a lot of stress on equal opportunities and accessibility, which is clearly on display in this photograph. It's a photograph of the entrance to the main building of the Faculty of Humanities here in Katowice. Now, very briefly, let me introduce the dean of our faculty, or all the deans of our faculty. On the left, you can see Professor Adam Dziadek, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, and then there's Professor Lucyna Sadzikowska, Associate Dean for Promotion and Development, Professor Renata Damc-Jarosz, who is Associate Dean for Education and Students in the Sosnowiec campus. Just because of those two campuses, those two locations, we have two deans responsible for education and students. The other one is Professor Anna Kałuża, who is Associate Dean for Education and Students, as I said, and she's responsible for the students and for their affairs here in Katowice. And my name, as I said, is Leszek Drong. I'm Associate Dean for Research, responsible for research done in all the institutes that I've already mentioned. Okay, again, just a few words about our international recognition and visibility. When you take a closer look at those photographs, you will see some of the most prominent philosophers, artists, writers, Nobel Prize winners who have visited our university. Some of those have been awarded honorary doctorates of our university, but also our researchers have gone to work on the research and work on joint projects with academics at some of the most prestigious academic institutions all over the world, including Oxford or the Sorbonne. There's one photograph here from Paris as well. I'm not going to discuss every single occasion on which those photographs were taken, but this is just to make you realize that we also put a lot of emphasis on international recognition and visibility, not just on recognition within Poland. Now, let me go back to the structure of the Faculty of Humanities, and I would like to focus closely on research institutes and their research areas, because this is quite important also in the context of job opportunities, of the faculty positions that are available, that will be available in the University of Silesia. This is just a visual reminder of the research structure of the faculty, with all those research institutes, and those research institutes, and actually their heads, the people responsible for organizing research in those institutes. Excuse me. Those people are also responsible for identifying and defining areas of research that need developing or strengthening in a particular institute. And in consequence, it's the institutes who apply for new faculty positions to what we call the Academic Staff Committee, which is a university body responsible for announcing openings, for issuing open calls for new positions, and they're also responsible for defining the requirements and expectations we have in terms of the qualifications and skills and competences that we seek in particular institutes and in the faculty as well. Now, we'll start with the Institute of History, headed by Professor Jerzy Sperka. Institute of History boasts a long-standing tradition of historical research, which combines foci on the local, the European, and the global. What distinguishes this institute, apart from the significant research areas that you can find here displayed in a short list, what also distinguishes this institute is that it conducts research in Silesian history, with reliance on many local sources and archives, including oral history and family histories. The research done in this particular institute is remarkable for many reasons, and I believe one of those reasons, I've already hinted at it, one of those reasons is that the research is important and significant for the region and its identity, which is firmly rooted in the unique narratives of the past. Much of the research done in this institute transcends national categories and boundaries, which I also see as an important asset and an important contribution to global knowledge too. Here you can see in the presentation, you can see the leading research areas, the most significant research areas, and one of the things that I want to emphasize once again is that like in practically every single research institute in our faculty, there is a lot of interdisciplinary work being done, and the research center, which is mentioned at the bottom of this particular slide, of what you can see in the screen, it's called Center for Nordic and Old English Studies, headed by Professor Jakub Morawiec, is a paragon of versatility. It's a truly interdisciplinary center, which is connected with the Institute of History, if only because Professor Morawiec is also deputy head of the institute. But several members of this research center come from other institutes and even other faculties. All right, now moving on to the Institute of Linguistics, one of the biggest and most versatile research institutes in the University of Silesia. In a moment I will go over those significant research areas that are listed here. But one thing that is also worth mentioning is that this particular institute is divided into two parts. One of those parts is mostly concerned with Polish and also classical languages used in antiquity, like Latin, Greek, and the other part is mostly concerned with modern languages, which is also reflected in the two different locations of those two parts of the Institute of Linguistics. I will come back to that when I discuss the Institute of Literary Studies, which is also divided into two parts, not just geographically, but also in terms of the scope of research or research interests. Now, one of the fortes of the Institute of Linguistics is a broad spectrum of comparative approaches and a vibrant interest in translation studies. Also, many of our researchers pursue intercultural linguistics, which is particularly useful in a region like ours, a region which used to be one of the most multicultural regions of Poland, at least at the beginning of the 20th century. And I think this holds true right now as well. Okay, at the bottom of this slide you can also see one of our leading research centers, which is affiliated or connected with the Faculty of Humanities and also with the Institute of Linguistics, because it's headed by Professor Bernadetta Niesporek-Szamburska, who is a researcher in the Institute of Linguistics, and she's responsible for running this interdisciplinary center that I've just mentioned. Okay, now moving on to the Institute of Literary Studies, which is the biggest and most complex institute in the University of Silesia, with a number of sub-disciplines and discrete areas of research which emanate from the study of literature, but in some cases at least have evolved in various directions, often under the influence of contemporary transformations in the media, including social media, what we call the new media as well. This is perhaps best exemplified by game studies, which are quite popular in the Institute of Literary Studies, and that's just one example of how popular the new humanities are, and also how popular interdisciplinary approaches are in the Institute of Literary Studies. Besides, our researchers are also interested in literary history, theory and criticism. We have research teams concerned with memory studies, gender studies and new regionalism. Area studies are also quite popular, including less obvious locations and their cultures, like Canadian studies or Croatian studies or Irish studies. One of the most successfully explored areas in the Institute is associated with Byzantine studies. with its leading research center called ANIMED, which is short for Animalia Antiqua et Medievalia. It's a research team mentioned at the bottom of this slide. It's headed by Professor Przemysław Marciniak. And I'm sure if you're interested in that, you can Google the name of the research center, and they have their own website. Now, I would like to move on to the next slide and to the next institute, Institute of Art Studies, headed by Professor Bogumiła Mika. Now, what's interesting about this institute is that it's the smallest institute in our faculty, and I suppose it's also the smallest institute in the entire University of Silesia. But also, it's fair to describe them as one of the most dynamic and prestigious research institutes in the south of Poland. The institute is likely to grow in the future, because what they do there is quite important, not only from a research perspective, but also for the entire region, its history and its heritage. Apart from art historians, the institute is home to prominent musicologists, with its head, Professor Bogumiła Mika, I've already mentioned. And also what's worth mentioning is that the colleagues who work in the Institute of Art Studies put a lot of emphasis on interdisciplinarity, and I know it sounds boring, but I'm going to repeat that in the context of every single institute, because we are not really confined by those classifications and divisions into disciplines. We do a lot of interdisciplinary work in the faculty. Now, this interest in interdisciplinarity and interdisciplinary projects is also reflected in their keen interest in local memory cultures. Perhaps best exemplified in the case of this particular research institute by its focus, or my colleagues' focus, on the post-industrial heritage of Upper Silesia. Okay, next one is the Institute of Philosophy, with its head Professor Dariusz Kubok. This particular institute, even though you have a very short list of significant research areas, believe me, their interests are quite complex and variegated too. The institute itself offers a mixture of traditional approaches to philosophy with modern, cutting-edge research interests, like the one which gave rise to one of our most promising research centers, headed by Professor Michał Krzykawski. It's mentioned again at the bottom of the slide. It's called Center for Critical Technology Studies, and yeah, you're right, you guessed that right. It's distinguished by its interdisciplinary focus, and that's what I actually appreciate about this particular center and most of the other centers that are associated with our faculty. Historians of philosophy in the Institute of Philosophy are particularly interested in Kant and his intellectual legacy. So neo-Kantianism is a leading research area, but cognitive studies are also quite popular. So those are just examples of what historians of philosophy do, what specialists in more recent philosophy and recent philosophical developments are interested in. I'm going to say that again, but researchers from this institute, researchers from the Institute of Philosophy, are open to all sorts of collaborative projects and partnerships, which is also reflected in a number of institutions that are involved in various sorts of mostly interdisciplinary projects with our philosophers. And last but not least, the Institute of Culture Studies, a big and strong institute. Research-wise, it's very strong institute, and it's also a paragon of research versatility. It's home to many researchers, around 80 researchers altogether, whose interests differ considerably. And yet they find it beneficial and useful and inspiring and illuminating to work hand in hand, exploring modern media, regional history and regional heritage as well, from various perspectives. Or they might be interested in current environmental challenges. Some of them are specifically interested in information societies. one of the most outstanding and cutting-edge projects developed recently in the Institute of Culture Studies is called Technologies for Love. You can see that again at the bottom here. Technologies for Love, Cultures of Feeling and Intimacy under Affective Media. Professor Anna Malinowska is responsible for the project. She has just had a new book published. It's called Love in Contemporary Technoculture. And I believe that her research is a perfect example of the sort of outside-the-box thinking that we appreciate, not just in the Institute of Culture Studies, but also in the entire Faculty of Humanities. Now, just a few words about the people who help our researchers. Well, of tremendous importance to our researchers, and they definitely deserve a mention here. And they asked me specifically to be in this photograph with them so that they can present this image to everyone who is interested in how we work, who we work with, and they actually they work very closely with me as Associate Dean for Research, and I'm proud to say a few words about them in this context. Because thanks to those people, our research is appreciated and also made easier because many of our researchers are successfully applied for external funding, including funding by national agencies and institutions responsible for sponsoring research in Poland and also in the European Union. All our research projects are prepared in collaboration with this dedicated team of specialists who support our researchers, help them along the way, take care of the formal aspects of grant applications, and also make sure that the researchers can focus exclusively on their own research. And finally, just a brief summary of the reasons why Faculty of Humanities may be a perfect place for you to apply for a faculty position. Those reasons are listed here, and still I would like to say a few words in this context to put that in a certain context as well. One of the things that I'm particularly proud of as Associate Dean for Research, but also as a member of faculty, is that we have exceptional, outstanding researchers, and they create a vibrant, inspiring community, both in Katowice and in Cieszyn and in Sosnowiec, also in Chorzów, although we don't have any research institutes and we don't do any teaching in Chorzów, but it's also one of the campuses of the University of Silesia. Another thing that is worth mentioning at the conclusion of this presentation is that we have a unique social environment in the heart of Upper Silesia here, with those urban campuses that I have just mentioned. Also, we have created, and we are in the process of creating, multiple opportunities to acquire external research funding. But also some of the research projects are supported within the faculty. They are funded internally, so to speak. We have a vast network of international partnerships. I've already mentioned international mobility, but it's worth emphasizing at the end of this presentation. Lots of joint research projects also internationally. And last but not least, one of the assets, one of the advantages of working at the University of Silesia, and specifically in the Faculty of Humanities, is that it's a research-centered work environment. And what matters to us a lot, most of all perhaps, is high-quality research, which is obviously our priority. Now, as a bonus, I want to offer you a couple of links that you can pursue on your own. When you open those links, you will see and be able to listen to some of my colleagues talking about their research projects in English, and all those links will take you to brief YouTube presentations, brief clips with presentations of their research interests and the projects that they would like to share with the entire world, and they extend their invitation for you to to get interested in those projects, but maybe also to join hands and develop some kind of partnership or work together on those projects. All right, thank you very much. That would be all from me.
Thank you very much. We have one question for your presentation. Do you know if there are some interdisciplinary projects conducted at Faculty of Humanities?
Thank you for that question, although I believe I have answered in the course of this presentation. We have developed many interdisciplinary projects, but there is one that I'm particularly proud of because it has been developed by a colleague of mine, but also by a former PhD student of mine, and I think it's particularly interesting, and it is connected with many recent developments in many different disciplines, branches, and fields of knowledge, areas of research as well. It's the one I'll just go back in the presentation to Institute of Culture Studies. It's the one that is mentioned at the bottom here, Technologies for Love, Cultures of Feeling and Intimacy and Affective Media. And just a couple of weeks ago, a book by Anna Malinowska was published by, I believe it was Oxford University Press or Cambridge University Press. Anyway, it's a fantastic example of the intersection of cultural studies, biology, technology, media studies, and sociology, but also psychology. It's been inspired by research in all those areas, but it's also a unique project in terms of the books and the project's contribution to our knowledge about what Anna Malinowska describes as technologies of togetherness, of affects or affections in a reality which is largely dominated by the media and by new technologies. So it's a very interesting project, and I would definitely recommend that as an example of the sort of interdisciplinary work that we do in the Faculty of Humanities, in this particular case within the Institute of Culture Studies as well. Right. Thank you.
And thank you for being with us today, Professor.
Thank you very much.
And now I would like to invite you to a short break. See you again at 12.
Witaj w Katowicach, stolicy województwa śląskiego. Gotowa na spacer? Jesteś na katowickim kampusie Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Wydział Humanistyczny wprowadził się do tego budynku w 2021 roku. Zajrzymy do środka. A teraz chodźmy odwiedzić samorząd studencki. To zaraz za rogiem przy Bankowej 14. W tym budynku można też studiować matematykę. W budynku pod numerem 12 znajduje się siedziba rektoratu. Tutaj pracują władze uczelni, a Tobie polecam Centrum Obsługi Studentów, czyli wyjątkowo kolorowe miejsce w rektoracie. Chodźmy do sąsiadów z naprzeciwka. Wydział Nauk Społecznych przy ulicy Bankowej 11 kształci socjologów, politologów i dziennikarzy, którzy szlifują swoje umiejętności w nowoczesnym studiu. Studia to wiedza, książki i rozmowy ze znajomymi. Pokażę Ci miejsce, w którym połączysz wszystkie te trzy elementy. Mieści się tu Centrum Informacji Naukowej i Biblioteka Akademicka. I jeszcze jedno. Stąd jest już bardzo blisko do gwiazd. A to Wydział Prawa i Administracji. W XXI wieku wprowadził się do nowego budynku o niezwykłej architekturze. Tutaj także studenci przekuwają teorię w praktykę. Nasz kampus znajduje się nad rzeką Rawą, którą staramy się przywrócić miastu i jego mieszkańcom. Właśnie tu zorganizowaliśmy 5. edycję Śląskiego Festiwalu Nauki, w której wzięło udział 30 000 ludzi. Pora przejść na drugą stronę rzeki. Budynek Instytutu Chemii jest zabytkowy, ale badania, które w nim prowadzimy, są nowoczesne. Sprawdzimy skład chemiczny wody z Rawy. Widzę, że wciągnęła Cię praca w laboratorium. To może obejrzymy z bliska rośliny, które rosną nad Rawą. 2 kroki stąd jest Instytut Biologii, Biotechnologii i Ochrony Środowiska. Czas na spacer ulicą Warszawską, która powstała na długo zanim Katowice stały się miastem. Uważaj, żeby nie przegapić skrętu w lewo. Przy ulicy Pawła III mieści się Szkoła Filmowa imienia Krzysztofa Kieślowskiego, w której kształcimy m.in. reżyserów, operatorów i producentów filmowych. Wielokrotnie nagradzany budynek Szkoły Filmowej to połączenie tradycyjnej śląskiej architektury z finezją nowoczesności zaproponowaną przez hiszpańskich architektów. W tych pięknych wnętrzach uczą się młodzi filmowcy, których dzieła są oglądane na całym świecie. Także w Katowicach, gdzie nie brakuje kultowych kin. Czas na dłuższy spacer, w trakcie którego zobaczysz wizytówki miasta, strefę kultury i legendarny spodek. To Wydział Nauk Społecznych przy ulicy Grażyńskiego 53, gdzie uczymy przyszłych pedagogów i psychologów. Spacer ulicami Mariacką i Dworcową to dobry moment na łyk kawy. Wydział Nauk Przyrodniczych mieści się przy ulicy Jagiellońskiej. Sprawdzimy, co jest w środku. Zajmujemy się tu m.in. badaniami roślin i mikroorganizmów. Nieopodal katedry znajduje się siedziba Wydziału Teologicznego. Jesteśmy w dzielnicy Ligota, gdzie znajdują się nasze akademiki. Tutaj swoją siedzibę ma studenckie radio Egida. Opowiesz na antenie o dzisiejszej wyprawie? A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Witaj w Cieszynie, mieście, w którym stykają się dwie kultury, polska i czeska. Jak najlepiej zacząć poznawać nowe miejsce, kierując się z punktu A do punktu B na własnych nogach. Jesteś na miejscu. Wydział Sztuki i Nauk o Edukacji. Tu kształtują się i rozwijają swoje pasje przedstawiciele nauk społecznych i humanistycznych oraz środowisk artystycznych. Cieszyński kampus jest jednym z najpiękniejszych obiektów Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Jest w tym więcej niż ziarno prawdy, nie sądzisz? Instytut Sztuk Plastycznych jest domeną ludzi sztuki, grafików, malarzy, rzeźbiarzy, rysowników, projektantów graficznych i fotografów. Uczymy tu też projektowania gier i przestrzeni wirtualnej. Instytut Sztuk Muzycznych jest kuźnią młodych instrumentalistów, wokalistów i realizatorów nagrań. Teraz przyszedł czas na zasłużony relaks. Kieruj się do centrum. Jesteś na cieszyńskim rynku. Rozejrzyj się. Ładnie tu, prawda? Ten czarujący rynek powstał pod koniec XV wieku. Nadal można tu znaleźć pozostałości po średniowiecznej zabudowie. W Cieszynie nie brakuje miejsc z dobrą kawą. Znasz tę budowlę, prawda? Rotunda w Cieszynie ma już około 1000 lat. A wiedziałaś, że w Cieszynie jest Wenecja? Chodźmy tam. Historia cieszyńskiej Wenecji sięga XVI wieku. Znajdziesz tutaj zabytkową architekturę, a także liczne puby i restauracje. Cieszyn to miasto spotkanie dwóch kultur. Po drugiej stronie rzeki są Czechy. A teraz w góry. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Drogowa trasa średnicowa, którą właśnie jedziesz, to największa drogowa inwestycja województwa śląskiego. To właśnie tą trasą dojedziesz do Śląskiego Międzyuczelnianego Centrum Edukacji i Badań Interdyscyplinarnych, w którym od 2019 roku działa Wydział Nauk Ścisłych i Technicznych. 140 nowoczesnych laboratoriów i pracowni badawczych, multimedialna biblioteka, dziekanaty czy audiowizualne aule. Aha, widzę, że nie tylko mnie przydałby się odpoczynek. Rozgość się w wydziałowej strefie aktywności studenckiej. A teraz wyjrzyj przez okno. Obok budynku znajduje się wielofunkcyjna strefa aktywności, która łączy lokalną i uniwersytecką społeczność. Gotowa na dalsze poznawanie uroków Chorzowa? Obiecuję, że to miasto jeszcze nie raz Cię zaskoczy. Chorzowski rynek jest prawdopodobnie jedynym placem w Polsce, który został podzielony na pół drogą szybkiego ruchu, tak zwaną estakadą. To Galeria Sztuki Muzycznej i Obrazu. Po drugiej stronie estakady mieści się siedziba Teatru Rozrywki. To jedna z najważniejszych polskich scen teatralnych. Zachwycający, prawda? Budynek Poczty Polskiej to prawdziwa neogotycka wizytówka miasta. Postindustrialne obiekty miasta znajdują się także na szlaku zabytków techniki naszego województwa, który jest najbardziej interesującą trasą turystyki industrialnej w Polsce. Pokażę Ci jeszcze Zielone Płuca Chorzowa, czyli Park Śląski. To blisko 600 hektarów zieleni, Śląski Park Linowy, ścieżki rowerowe i śląskie wesołe miasteczko nazywane Legendią. W parku mamy także coś dla miłośników wiedzy – planetarium Śląski Park Nauki. A to prawdziwa legenda – Stadion Śląski. To właśnie tutaj latem odbywają się liczne koncerty, warsztaty czy zloty food trucków. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Sosnowiec powstał i rozwinął się dzięki tysiącom ludzi, którzy w krótkim czasie przyjechali tu z różnych stron. Zwiedzanie zaczynamy od Wydziału Nauk Przyrodniczych, który w Sosnowcu ma swoją siedzibę w najwyższym budynku akademickim w Polsce, czyli popularnej Żylecie. Dinozaurzyca Zuzia stoi tu nie bez powodu. W Żylecie znajduje się Muzeum Nauk o Ziemi, a studiują tu przyszli geolodzy i geografowie. A teraz chodźmy zobaczyć, jak wygląda miasto z wysokości 80 metrów. Przy ulicy Będzińskiej studiują też przyszli informatycy. Pójdziemy zobaczyć, gdzie się uczą. Nieopodal Żylety znajduje się miasteczko akademickie. Chyba czas pomyśleć o zakwaterowaniu. Jeżeli już się zadomowiłaś, pora na dalsze zwiedzanie. Nowoczesny budynek przy ulicy Grota Roweckiego 5 jest jedną z siedzib Wydziału Humanistycznego Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Dominują tu języki nowożytne, a może spróbujesz swoich sił w tłumaczeniu symultanicznym? Sosnowiec powstał jako miasto wielokulturowe. Kiedyś różnymi językami mówiono na ulicach, a dziś w salach wykładowych. Pałac Dietla to jedna z pereł Sosnowca. Pochodzi z końca XIX wieku. Zwiedziłaś ciekawy zabytek, a teraz pora na odrobinę nowoczesności. Zagłębiowska Mediateka to dobre miejsce dla studentów. W Sosnowcu można dobrze spędzać czas na różne sposoby, o każdej porze dnia i roku. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody.
Hi, my name is Zuzanna Wawrzyniak, and I'm very pleased that I can talk to you about Faculty of Natural Sciences today. I'm a geologist raised at the faculty, so the greater pleasure I have to tell you how research and functioning at the university, at the faculty, is going. Let's start with how the faculty looks like. We are actually divided into 3 institutes: Institute of Earth Sciences, Institute of Social and Economic Geography and Spatial Management, Institute of Biology, Biotechnology and Environmental Protection. Institute of Earth Sciences and Institute of Social and Economic Geography and Spatial Management are based in Sosnowiec. And the Institute of Biology and Biotechnology is in Katowice. It's not really a big problem because the whole region we call Silesia is very well connected with public transport. So actually from getting from the one city center to other city center, it takes like half an hour. Institute of Biology and Biotechnology and Environmental Protection is actually in 2 buildings in the city center of Katowice. So there's a lot of possibilities to live, to spend time, to have lunch in the area. Institute of Earth Sciences and Social and Economic Geography and Spatial Management are in Sosnowiec. It's a bit smaller neighboring city, very close to Katowice. It's almost in the city center, but actually you can commute to the city center very easily on foot, by bike, or by public transport. Apart from the institutes, that we have also 4 research centers: Silesian Water Center, Center for Polar Studies, University Laboratory for Atmosphere Control, Polish-Chinese Center for Environmental Researchers. Because we are in the very special region of Poland, Silesia, that is constantly changing, especially now in the last decade, and that gives us a lot of opportunities to work on environmental changes, environmental protection, and geology, as it's the region that used to be known from coal mines and ores. And because of that, also we work on other Polish localities famous for geology. We are divided into more than 50 research groups spread across the institutes. In total, we have more than 100 research projects, widely concerning experimental biology, biotechnology, ecology, environmental protection, geochemistry, geology, geography, climatology, and paleontology. It is possible to apply for research funding from following the institutions like National Science Center, National Center for Research and Development, Ministry of Education and Science, and of course the European Union. What is important for us is that our research are in agreement with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which makes us a part of a big international network. What we can be particularly proud of is are the research facilities. We have a well-equipped new laboratories that are equipped and prepared to work on biological science, biosciences, but as well as earth sciences. These are state-of-the-art, actually. This is a state-of-the-art infrastructure with different modern devices that help us, to get really close to the problems of modern earth science and natural sciences problems. For all of our researchers, available is microscopy and imaging labs are actually from the scanning microscopes to the different kinds of fluorescent microscopes, and of course light microscope with different scales actually and different imaging techniques. Our researchers are welcome to use museums and collections, and for those interested in plants, let's say. There's a scientific herbarium. And of course, libraries, specialistic libraries across the faculty. We are actually, the very important part of the faculty life is actually teaching. We care about our students, and we hope that some of them will stay with us and will continue our research. And also we would like to be sure that we raise another generation of great specialists. Our first cycle of bachelor's and engineers degrees we have in all of the fields you see right now. So biology, biotechnology, geography, applied geology, biotechnology, environmental protection, geology, environmental hazards, engineering, tourism, and aquamatics. For students also that finish the first cycle, the second degree, master's degree, is possible. Many of our students, but also students from abroad, continue teaching, continue learning, and want to conduct research, actually, are joining our doctoral school. Let me just get back for a bit to the infrastructure page. Apart from what we can find on site in the in our institutes, in Institute of Biology and Institute of Earth Sciences, we also are very active in field research. So it is normal for us that we take equipment and go for the field, especially biologists and geologists, but also people working on dendrology, water sciences. Sometimes we can use spectrometers that are possible to portable, actually, and we can take them for the field work. We constantly maintain our research infrastructure so that it stay up to date and it's working properly. It's in the standards that in other universities, other research facilities also have. The museum we have at the faculty of the Institute of Earth Sciences, Museum of Earth Sciences right now. It's holding collection of minerals and paleontological collection, but also meteorites collection. Of course, researchers are more than welcome to use the collections to conduct research on those. Collections are basically are in great amount are actually collected by our researchers and sometimes our students. If someone is interested also in public outreach, actually that's very important right now to make sure that our research are understandable for everybody. And somebody is interested in public engagement, then apart from the whole the great event that it's Śląski Silesian Festival of Science in Katowice, one can take part in Museum of Earth Sciences teaching programs. We teach children from 6 years old to up to like 18 or even older. People are welcome to learn things about Earth. And it is possible for every researcher to join the museum and try to speak about his or her research. We also take part as the Faculty of Natural Sciences in International Earth Day. and we try to be more active and more active, let's say, in the life of our neighborhood. So we in our closest neighborhood. So we organize Geonight for everyone from the area that can come and see the faculty and how we work, how the faculty, how the institutes look like from the inside. We take part every year in so-called Geese Day, International Geese Day, and those were more of a earth science events. At the Institute of Biology, Biotechnology, and Environmental Protection, each year there's a biologist night, which is in national holiday, we can say right now, and it's really popular among everybody from outside science life. Apart from that, there's a fascinating plants day to celebrate plants. There's a brain week, antibiotics week, for example, and symposium of neurodynamics. Those events are more or less regular, but our researchers are taking care, are always thinking about a new way of outreach, about getting to people with their research. Here are some, just only some research projects I just would like to talk about a bit, because there are around 100 research projects at the faculty in whole, and those research projects are led by professors, by the, let's say, grown-up, experienced scientists, researchers, but also faculty is very keen on encouraging young scientists to get their projects and to get into the research as soon as possible, to make them as independent as possible and get their own experience. These projects you see right now are on the Institute of Biology, Biotechnology, and Environmental Protection, which is just those, they're just here free, but there's a lot more. One of the projects concerning changes of different levels of body organization in adult specimens of Rhytobius forficatus and exposed to continuous cation treatment, so how the organism actually reacts to pollution. The other projects are in the other project, the scientists would like to unravel the mechanism behind the regulation of local variability of shapes for reproducible plant organs. So our biologists like to also get into things like that we can use actually on an everyday basis to know how our most important aspects of our life can get better, or how it can be affected by environmental pollution. In the project called Barista, the scientists are trying to develop tools for breeding barley for intensive and sustainable agriculture under climate change scenarios. At the Institute of Biology and Biotechnology and Environmental Protection, we are very aware of the constant changing of the environment and what's happening in the world with the environment and what kind of influence it has on living organisms, including ourselves. The other Institute of Earth Sciences in Sosnowiec, is also concerned about Earth about climate change and pollutions. Especially like the project here led by Professor Fabiańska, called Evaluation of Quantity and Chemical Composition of Pollution Emitted During Self-Burning Processes of Coal Wastes, simulated by hydrous and anhydrous pyrolysis and in high temperature oxidation. Because we are in this very special region, and the industry here in Silesia was very concentrating. It was actually growing around coal mines, and we are left with wastes of the coal industry. Then finding solutions to have a safe environment and safe future, it's quite important. And our scientists use also this as an opportunity to do research and see how all those places can be dangerous, those places that are left, dump sites of coal waste, etc. Our scientists also try to get into very deep geological time. Ashley Gamsley actually is trying to do a research on implications of geochronology of apatite for post-magmatic processes in the area of Capivo Craton in Africa. He came to us a couple of years ago, and he started here actually his new project. Ashley is trying to decipher or get some new lights into the oldest Neoproterozoic age, into some new Neoproterozoic, what happened in that time before the before the evolution of life or life explosion. The closest to me is actually a project about microproblematics and microfossils. That project, led by Professor Uracki, is concerning all those little tiny things that you can see under the microscope and you can find in rocks. Here he is interested in Middle Paleozoic, so in quite deep geological time, to learn about things, about minute fossils of organisms that used to live hundreds of millions of years ago and were not closely researched so far, and what can we actually tell about those? What can they actually tell about the environment during those times? Our researchers can use freely our research facilities. And so bioscientists have access to faculty, biological, biosciences research lab. Our scientists can freely use the Institute of Earth Sciences labs. But also we are working with scientists and with specialists from across the university, and also from different universities and research facilities in Poland. Cooperation and like interdisciplinary work, it's something that we are really keen with. Very good at institutes, at the Faculty of Natural Sciences. We do care and we realize that there's a great need of interdisciplinary research, and that we actually need to work with one another to understand what's happening in the, let's say, Earth ecosystem, in the global ecosystem. If someone is interested in conducting research at the university, apart from research facilities, can use help also of students. It is possible to engage students in our research and ask them for help, and it's for sure a great opportunity for students. And we can also teach another generation of scientists like science in practice looks like. Institute of Earth Sciences and Institute of Biology, Biotechnology and Environmental Protection as long as also the Institute of Socioeconomics, Geography are very well communicated with the main quarter in Katowice. So from practical point of view, commuting from one faculty, from one institute to the university headquarters is fairly easy, and you know, to from one institute to another. We are very present in international science research bodies and research institutes, and our scientists are very active on conferences and meetings, so they are present in international, in modern science and part of its development. And I think we can finish right now, but if you want to know more, you can contact us anytime. You can contact us directly on the Faculty of Environmental Sciences, of Natural Sciences, sorry, or you can contact our email that's available, my email that's available on the this event website. Thank you very much.
On our chat, I can see a question about international cooperation. Could you tell us more about it? Mm-hmm. How does it look at Faculty of Natural Sciences?
Okay, so apart from taking active, about being active on meetings and conferences, we are also going to other abroad institutes, international institutes. Like some of us are, like one of our researchers is now in Vienna working there at university on postdoc. So that's the one thing that's possible. If you get research funding, you can also organize international research, like collect samples abroad, visit labs abroad. That's something that we do fairly often. We also invite scientists from other institutes, other institutions, from other parts of the world. Like I can say from my experience that we often are visited by other paleontologists, because I'm a paleontologist, from, for example, Natural History Museum in London, or the French Paris Museum of Natural History, from Sweden. So we are actually really active, and as well biologists are. So like boundaries are not really a problem at the Faculty of Natural Sciences.
Yeah, your work sounds very interesting to me, and
you.
I hope for our participants also. Thank you for being with us today. And now we'll have a break. Next presentation will start at 1 p.m. Don't miss it.
Uniwersytet Śląski w Katowicach to bardzo dobre miejsce do pracy, dające duże możliwości w zakresie współpracy międzynarodowej. Od lipca 2020 roku jesteśmy członkiem Uniwersytetu Europejskiego Transform for Europe.
A laboratórium tökéletesen felszerelt, és egy kiváló helyszínt biztosít a tudományos kutatásaim elvégzésére. A kollégáim rendkívül segítőkészek.
Lavoro come microbiologo all'Università di Silesia in Katowice, dove mi occupo nella mia attività di ricerca di migliorare il futuro del nostro ambiente.
The University of Silesia is an ever-growing and evolving scientific institution where young scientists, researchers, and students can come, learn, grow, build their career, and then make a contribution back to the local population.
네, 실레지아 대학교에서 연구하고 강의하는 것은 저에게 폴란드 문화와 폴란드 언어를 더욱 깊게 이해하게 해주며 유서 깊고 다양한 실레지아 문화를 만나게 해줍니다.
Jako matka samoživitelka oceňuji možnost přizpůsobit si rozvrh hodin svým potřebám. Jako akademický pracovník plně pociťuji podporu univerzity, pokud jde o můj akademický rozvoj.
Powiększanie dobra wspólnego, jakimi są nauka i edukacja, oto unikalny składnik pracy w Uniwersytecie Śląskim.
Uniwersytet tworzą ludzie. To im staramy się zapewnić dobre warunki pracy oraz atmosferę sprzyjającą prowadzeniu badań na międzynarodowym poziomie. Działania podejmowane przez Uniwersytet są zgodne z zaleceniami Europejskiej Strategii przy zatrudnianiu naukowców, o czym świadczy przyznane Uniwersytetowi wyróżnienie HR Excellence in Research.
Nazywam się Małgorzata Myśliwiec, jestem profesorem w Instytucie Nauk Politycznych Uniwersytetu Śląskiego w Katowicach.
Sono Franco Magurno. Lavoro come microbiologo all'Università di Silesia in Katowice.
Nádudvari Ádám vagyok, és a Sziléziai Egyetem természettudományi tanszékén dolgozok adjunktusként másfél éve.
Jmenuji se Lucie Zormanová a pracuji na Institutu pedagogiky jako odborný asistent.
My name's Alexander Lowe. I work in the Institute of Chemistry as part of the Faculty of Science and Technology.
저는 실레지아 대학교에서 연구하는 유창일이라고 합니다.
Nazywam się Ryszard Koziołek. Jestem nauczycielem, badaczem, profesorem, rektorem Uniwersytetu Śląskiego.
Nazywam się Małgorzata Hurpa-Łapniak, jestem psychologiem i pracuję w dziale HR Uniwersytetu Śląskiego.
Witaj w Katowicach, stolicy województwa śląskiego. Gotowa na spacer? Jesteś na katowickim kampusie Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Wydział Humanistyczny wprowadził się do tego budynku w 2021 roku. Zajrzymy do środka. A teraz chodźmy odwiedzić samorząd studencki. To zaraz za rogiem przy Bankowej 14. W tym budynku można też studiować matematykę. W budynku pod numerem 12 znajduje się siedziba rektoratu. Tutaj pracują władze uczelni, a Tobie polecam Centrum Obsługi Studentów, czyli wyjątkowo kolorowe miejsce w rektoracie. Chodźmy do sąsiadów z naprzeciwka. Wydział Nauk Społecznych przy ulicy Bankowej 11 kształci socjologów, politologów i dziennikarzy, którzy szlifują swoje umiejętności w nowoczesnym studiu. Studia to wiedza, książki i rozmowy ze znajomymi. Pokażę Ci miejsce, w którym połączysz wszystkie te trzy elementy. Mieści się tu Centrum Informacji Naukowej i Biblioteka Akademicka. I jeszcze jedno. Stąd jest już bardzo blisko do gwiazd. A to Wydział Prawa i Administracji. W XXI wieku wprowadził się do nowego budynku o niezwykłej architekturze. Tutaj także studenci przekuwają teorię w praktykę. Nasz kampus znajduje się nad rzeką Rawą, którą staramy się przywrócić miastu i jego mieszkańcom. Właśnie tu zorganizowaliśmy 5. edycję Śląskiego Festiwalu Nauki, w której wzięło udział 30 000 ludzi. Pora przejść na drugą stronę rzeki. Budynek Instytutu Chemii jest zabytkowy, ale badania, które w nim prowadzimy, są nowoczesne. Sprawdzimy skład chemiczny wody z Rawy. Widzę, że wciągnęła Cię praca w laboratorium. To może obejrzymy z bliska rośliny, które rosną nad Rawą. 2 kroki stąd jest Instytut Biologii, Biotechnologii i Ochrony Środowiska. Czas na spacer ulicą Warszawską, która powstała na długo zanim Katowice stały się miastem. Uważaj, żeby nie przegapić skrętu w lewo. Przy ulicy Pawła III mieści się Szkoła Filmowa imienia Krzysztofa Kieślowskiego, w której kształcimy m.in. reżyserów, operatorów i producentów filmowych. Wielokrotnie nagradzany budynek Szkoły Filmowej to połączenie tradycyjnej śląskiej architektury z finezją nowoczesności zaproponowaną przez hiszpańskich architektów. W tych pięknych wnętrzach uczą się młodzi filmowcy, których dzieła są oglądane na całym świecie. Także w Katowicach, gdzie nie brakuje kultowych kin. Czas na dłuższy spacer, w trakcie którego zobaczysz wizytówki miasta, strefę kultury i legendarny spodek. To Wydział Nauk Społecznych przy ulicy Grażyńskiego 53, gdzie uczymy przyszłych pedagogów i psychologów. Spacer ulicami Mariacką i Dworcową to dobry moment na łyk kawy. Wydział Nauk Przyrodniczych mieści się przy ulicy Jagiellońskiej. Sprawdzimy, co jest w środku. Zajmujemy się tu m.in. badaniami roślin i mikroorganizmów. Nieopodal katedry znajduje się siedziba Wydziału Teologicznego. Jesteśmy w dzielnicy Ligota, gdzie znajdują się nasze akademiki. Tutaj swoją siedzibę ma studenckie radio Egida. Opowiesz na antenie o dzisiejszej wyprawie? A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Drogowa trasa średnicowa, którą właśnie jedziesz, to największa drogowa inwestycja województwa śląskiego. To właśnie tą trasą dojedziesz do Śląskiego Międzyuczelnianego Centrum Edukacji i Badań Interdyscyplinarnych, w którym od 2019 roku działa Wydział Nauk Ścisłych i Technicznych. 140 nowoczesnych laboratoriów i pracowni badawczych, multimedialna biblioteka, dziekanaty czy audiowizualne aule. Aha, widzę, że nie tylko mnie przydałby się odpoczynek. Rozgość się w wydziałowej strefie aktywności studenckiej. A teraz wyjrzyj przez okno. Obok budynku znajduje się wielofunkcyjna strefa aktywności, która łączy lokalną i uniwersytecką społeczność. Gotowa na dalsze poznawanie uroków Chorzowa? Obiecuję, że to miasto jeszcze nie raz Cię zaskoczy. Chorzowski Rynek jest prawdopodobnie jedynym placem w Polsce, który został podzielony na pół drogą szybkiego ruchu, tak zwaną estakadą. To galeria sztuki muzycznej i obrazu. Po drugiej stronie estakady mieści się siedziba Teatru Rozrywki. To jedna z najważniejszych polskich scen teatralnych. Zachwycający, prawda? Budynek Poczty Polskiej to prawdziwa neogotycka wizytówka miasta. Postindustrialne obiekty miasta znajdują się także na szlaku zabytków techniki naszego województwa, który jest najbardziej interesującą trasą turystyki industrialnej w Polsce. Pokażę Ci jeszcze zielone płuca Chorzowa, czyli Park Śląski. To blisko 600 hektarów zieleni, Śląski Park Linowy, ścieżki rowerowe i śląskie wesołe miasteczko nazywane Legendią. W parku mamy także coś dla miłośników wiedzy. Planetarium Śląski Park Nauki. A to prawdziwa legenda – Stadion Śląski. To właśnie tutaj latem odbywają się liczne koncerty, warsztaty czy zloty food trucków. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Witaj w Cieszynie, mieście, w którym stykają się dwie kultury – polska i czeska. Jak najlepiej zacząć poznawać nowe miejsce? Kierując się z punktu A do punktu B na własnych nogach. Jesteś na miejscu. Wydział Sztuki i Nauk o Edukacji. Tu kształtują się i rozwijają swoje pasje przedstawiciele nauk społecznych i humanistycznych oraz środowisk artystycznych. Cieszyński kampus jest jednym z najpiękniejszych obiektów Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Jest w tym więcej niż ziarno prawdy, nie sądzisz? Instytut Sztuk Plastycznych jest domeną ludzi sztuki, grafików, malarzy, rzeźbiarzy, rysowników, projektantów graficznych i fotografów. Uczymy tu też projektowania gier i przestrzeni wirtualnej. Instytut Sztuk Muzycznych jest kuźnią młodych instrumentalistów, wokalistów i realizatorów nagrań. Teraz przyszedł czas na zasłużony relaks. Kieruj się do centrum. Jesteś na cieszyńskim rynku. Rozejrzyj się. Ładnie tu, prawda? Ten czarujący rynek powstał pod koniec XV wieku. Nadal można tu znaleźć pozostałości po średniowiecznej zabudowie. W Cieszynie nie brakuje miejsc z dobrą kawą. Znasz tę budowlę, prawda? Rotunda w Cieszynie ma już około 1000 lat. A wiedziałaś, że w Cieszynie jest Wenecja? Chodźmy tam. Historia cieszyńskiej Wenecji sięga XVI wieku. Znajdziesz tutaj zabytkową architekturę, a także liczne puby i restauracje. Cieszyn to miasto spotkanie dwóch kultur. Po drugiej stronie rzeki są Czechy. A teraz w góry. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Sosnowiec powstał i rozwinął się dzięki tysiącom ludzi, którzy w krótkim czasie przyjechali tu z różnych stron. Zwiedzanie zaczynamy od Wydziału Nauk Przyrodniczych, który w Sosnowcu ma swoją siedzibę w najwyższym budynku akademickim w Polsce, czyli popularnej Żylecie. Dinozaurzyca Zuzia stoi tu nie bez powodu. W Żylecie znajduje się Muzeum Nauk o Ziemi, a studiują tu przyszli geolodzy i geografowie. A teraz chodźmy zobaczyć, jak wygląda miasto z wysokości 80 metrów. Przy ulicy Będzińskiej studiują też przyszli informatycy. Pójdziemy zobaczyć, gdzie się uczą. Nieopodal Żylety znajduje się miasteczko akademickie. Chyba czas pomyśleć o zakwaterowaniu. Jeżeli już się zadomowiłaś, pora na dalsze zwiedzanie. Nowoczesny budynek przy ulicy Grota Roweckiego 5 jest jedną z siedzib Wydziału Humanistycznego Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Dominują tu języki nowożytne, a może spróbujesz swoich sił w tłumaczeniu symultanicznym? Sosnowiec powstał jako miasto wielokulturowe. Kiedyś różnymi językami mówiono na ulicach, a dziś w salach wykładowych. Pałac Dietla to jedna z pereł Sosnowca. Pochodzi z końca XIX wieku. Zwiedziłaś ciekawy zabytek, a teraz pora na odrobinę nowoczesności. Zagłębiowska Mediateka to dobre miejsce dla studentów. W Sosnowcu można dobrze spędzać czas na różne sposoby, o każdej porze dnia i roku. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Katarzyna Ponikowska, and I would like to welcome all the viewers on behalf of Faculty of Social Sciences, the authorities, academics, and also administrative workers. And today I would like to introduce a few facts and data about our faculty. On our agenda will be who we are, how we employ, a few words about it as well, of course, what do we do. I will refer to research, projects and didactics as well. Of course, a little bit of entertainment would help to keep the work-life balance, so as well a few pieces of information about it. As you probably know, our university is located in Silesian Voivodeship in the south of Poland. And probably a lot of people associate our university with the industrial region, but as you can see in the second map, actually Katowice is surrounded by green areas, so in free time you can explore as well beauty of our region. At the beginning, a few statistical data about our faculty. We have over 3,500 students mostly undergraduate and graduate. We also cooperate within a few programs for postgraduate students, and also our graduates may enroll a doctoral school which actually gathers and students from all faculties from our university. Almost 300 academic teachers work here, 46 administration employees. We cover 13 fields of study, and our faculty consists of 5 institutes, which I'm going shortly introduce in a minute. But before I get to the structure and to the details about the institutes and study programs, I would like to present 4 actually ways you can be employed at our faculty. First, there are competitions for academic positions, where all details about your credentials are presented, and there is a call for proposal. You may answer in the competition, which is then regarded by the special commission, and this way academics may be employed in our faculty. The other one is cooperation under civil law contracts, which actually is addressing visiting professor mainly, and the visiting professor may be each person who holds the position of professor at the home university, or is just holds the name of the professor itself. The next way is employment within didactic cooperation with specialists of various professions. We have different institutes which are supported by experts, like from military work, from diplomacy, from social work, psychologists. So actually it's a great asset to our students and also to our cooperation. And the last one is employment based on a cooperation with grants. So obviously, probably it's like global knowledge that within grants we can cooperate and we can be employed by the given universities, given faculties, also ours. The shape of our faculty nowadays is the result of merge between former faculty of psychology and pedagogy with a part of former faculty of social sciences. That is why actually our faculty is located in 2 spots, at Bankowa Street and Grażyńskiego Street, but we cooperate closely, and actually we are under one supervision of our dean and deputy deans. So structure, we have the same authority. When we talk about the Faculty of Social Sciences structure, we may look at it in 2 ways. The first one considers institutes. It's a structure based on institutes, which are located both in Bankowa and Grażyńskiego. And institutes are mostly associated with research activity of the academics. And we have 5 institutes: journalism and media communication, political science, sociology, pedagogy, and psychology. Another point of view at our structure is from the programs, study programs, which create the separate field of in the structure of the university. But the study programs obviously are strictly connected with the main research interest of given institutes. I'm going to present now shortly each of the institutes and connected with them the fields of study and programs. Institute of Journalism and Media Communication holds just one program, which is Journalism and Social Communication, both undergraduate and graduate. Academics from this institute, obviously I will just give examples of the research areas. It's impossible to mention all of them now. Some of them cover such fields like theory and practice of journalist genres, the mapping of new media and digital space, international intercultural communication, political communication, media linguistics, media and religion, gender in media and communication studies, the history of the media, and so on. Within this, the next one is the Institute of Political Science, and here we have a few programs. We have political science itself, we have city policies and public consultancy, which actually is like applied political science, I could say, international studies in political science and diplomacy. And this is quite a new degree at our faculty, but it's very popular now. And also national, international security, which, as I mentioned, cooperates with experts from the, for example, from the military forces. Academics from this institute are interested in such areas of political science like cyberterrorism, models of crisis response in European countries in the time of COVID, which obviously is very popular nowadays, and many faculties, departments actually are interested in this topic. Polish foreign policy, obviously, in the 21st century, in history as well, security policy in China, political conspiracy theories, voting models, in the Central Asia studies, European integration, political party systems in the world, not just in Europe. And many others as well. The next one, in Institute of Pedagogy, the two previous ones were located at Bankowa Street and come from the former Faculty of Sociology, of Social Sciences, and the Institute of Pedagogy is located at Grażyńskiego Street along with Institute of Psychology. Within the Institute of Pedagogy, there are a few programs operating, such as early school education and preschool education, revalidation pedagogy, social rehabilitation, care educational pedagogy, special education, and art therapy. In Institute of Pedagogy, academics are interested in such fields as pedagogical axiology, multimedia in education, gratitude in education, social media, of course, in many dimensions, tutoring, youth welfare, borderland culture and education. It's connected with intercultural communication, of course, creative pedagogy, hearing disability and other forms of disabilities, institutions in the situation of COVID pandemic, again, a very updated topic, and childhood and adolescent studies. The next institute is the Institute of Psychology, and we have again here just one program, but with many specialties after all, like connected with crime psychology, connected with development psychology, clinical psychology, and so on. This is the program which is 5-year program. The other ones, which were mentioned before, are divided into undergraduate and graduate studies. And in case of psychology, we have a 5-year program. And the research areas cover procreation psychology, psychology of music, flow in virtual teams, correlation between work addiction and health issues, PTSD, eating habits and health issues, loneliness and social touch impact on pain and stress, victimization and extremism, and moral characteristics of prisoners, and many others, of course. In the case of Institute of Sociology, we have two leading programs, which is sociology and social work. And within sociology, we have a few specializations, such as modern social studies, organization and management sociology, human resources in modern organization, business and new media sociology is a new specialization in the Institute of Sociology or under institute, advertising sociology and social communication. And within social work, we have a specialization in mediation and negotiations, local community work, gerontology in social work, management in social work, and social economics. And again, in both these fields, we cooperate with the external specialists. Some of the research areas covered by the employees of Institute of Sociology cover sociology of the city and metropolitan area, sociology of work, organization and management, sociology of social problems, sociology of culture and art, environmental social work, sociology of family, and so on. Also, we have an extra program at our faculty, which is not connected with the institute itself. This is a program, Human Resources Management. This is a study program, but also employees from this program are very active scientifically. So some of the research areas which are in the field of interest, their interest are social capital management, competency profiling, sharing economy and task economy, social aspects of Industry 5.0, employer branding, e-government, assessment of the information quality of public administration websites in Poland, and so on. So here, the next point. In the next point, I would like to share a few pieces of information about project and grants. As I mentioned before, the employees, the academics from our faculty are very active in scientific grants, scientific projects, and also with didactic ones. Projects implemented at the Faculty of Social Sciences are financed by from a few sources. First of them, there are grants for statutory activities. The next one, there are programs of the Ministry of Education and Science. Also, grants from government agencies like the National Science Center and the National Center for Research and Development. And of course, as well, we are active in the framework of programs financed by European Union and other international programs. These project and grants very often are strictly connected with the search areas which I mentioned before, describing given institutes. With the inspiration of employees of our faculty or academics from our faculty, there were a few research centers created. I think that there's a special asset of the centers that and quality of the centers that they are operating within a cooperation with other universities or entrepreneurships or governmental bodies. So these are sometimes huge cooperation which covers many interesting topics and serve the local, I would say, local community, local government. Actually the main objective is to give some hints, some tips to local community how to improve the well-being of the inhabitants, especially of the region, which is quite characteristic, and many social changes take place within it. And here we have Observatory of Urban and Metropolitan Processes, Research Center for Public Policy and Management, University Center of Creative Citizenships. The first ones were their activity was initiated by employees from Faculty of Social Science, but also from the Faculty of Law. So we have within university cooperation, and the last one was created by young academic and addressing also young people, young citizens. I mentioned one type of cooperation. We can also talk about a wider range of cooperative initiatives, like at all levels, like local, regional, national, international. For example, within the Faculty of Social Sciences and cooperating with given institutes, we have program and business councils, which consist of entrepreneurships, entrepreneurs who come from from our local environment, and there are actually two tasks to be fulfilled by this program and business council. On the one hand, they give opinion on our study programs, if they are compatible with the market needs. And on the other side, entrepreneurs who come, business people who come from these cooperating entrepreneurships, they sometimes offer some job position for our graduates. So this is very valuable cooperation. We have also Bank of Experts, and here our academics serve the stakeholders, external stakeholders. They serve with their knowledge, with their experience. And the Bank of Experts may be offered people cooperating within the Bank of Experts, pass information with media, business, administration, science and education. We have also International Congress of UNESCO Creative Cities Network, and we cooperated as the faculty, and faculty members cooperated with UNESCO representatives while creating this Creative Cities network, because Katowice is a city of music, so it belongs to the network of Creative Cities itself. Quite new initiative, but very actively cooperating, is Transport for Europe consortium, which meeting took place last week, and we as the faculty, as university, we hosted our guests from universities from all over Europe, from Alicante, Estonia, Sofia, Trieste, and also from Lithuania, Portugal, now Slovenia, and the universities which belong to our consortium, and its aim is to exchange of didactic and research experience, flow of knowledge, access to infrastructure, cooperation with stakeholders, and international trainings. Cooperation is not only addressing the academics, but also administrative staff, which, for example, practice job shadowing, innovative management styles. They adjust the new innovative management styles, and so on. Also, we participate in Silesian Science Festival, which is organized by actually this body, which is called Silesian Science Festival, and its aim is to share the knowledge about our research, our activity with the inhabitants of our city, of the region, and it's kind of showing off our achievements. And as a result of activity of Silesian Science Festival, and among others, we have also plans for future, which are actually this great chance for the university and for region. Is the European city, Katowice was awarded with the title of European City of Science in 2024, and this will be a cooperation of universities operating at our region. It provides the host city, of course, with a huge opportunity to attract scientists, politicians, businessmen, media representatives from all over the world. It improves the capacity to gain funds for investing in regional science, increases the tourist attractiveness of the city, and also enhance the impact of the university on all aspects of life and increase in international visibility. So we are hoping that it will even strengthen the position of the university itself and also of our faculty. A few words about didactics now. Obviously, students are our biggest asset, and working with them is like pure pleasure. So we are trying to improve our skills to do it properly, and also we offer many courses and workshops for students. We have a wide range of courses in foreign languages, mainly in English, but also in French, in Spanish. And within these courses, we have also cooperation within the Erasmus Plus programs. A lot of students of our faculty visit foreign universities, and also our faculty attracts a lot of foreign students from many European universities. We have also multidisciplinary courses. We are in the process of changing the system of work, so also students from our faculty will have opportunity to study subjects which are connected more with other faculties. Some courses are prepared in cooperation with academics from different faculties, so I think it enriches the offer of studies. We also employ experts who conduct classes for our students, which was mentioned before as well. We have training for students of different kind, like language trainings how to manage a situation with difficult situation which may appear while working with students, working with students with special needs, also training which empower teachers to be better ones. Erasmus grants also consider didactics. A lot of projects, Erasmus projects are conducted, recently connected with online teaching, which of course as a result of pandemic got very popular, and actually we need new skills how to make online teaching better. We have also, of course, facilities like accessibility of university, obviously, but also we have, as you may see in the picture, the room for a focus group research where students may practice their skills, how to conduct social research. We have radio studio and TV studio devoted especially to journalist students, but also they may be used by students from all over faculty and also for academics. Very attractive from the study reasons, but also from the architectural point of view, is our information center and academic library CINIBA, which actually we share with the University of Economics. It's located close to the Faculty of Social Sciences, so you through the window you may admire the new architecture, which is also very interesting in the region, and this field of creative industries are developing very quickly in our region. Here you may see it as a building from outside and from inside, so there are also quiet rooms to work. There is a lot of space to individual work or to discussion and to even hold some meetings. So it's a very attractive place, and it is close to our faculty. But of course, we just don't study all the time. We don't work all the time, and there is also space for some integration meetings within institute, within study programs in our faculty. So each of the institutes, each of the study programs organize, they organize some meetings. Sometimes we are going to different cities in the mountains to enjoy ourselves, but of course it happens just once in the time. So when you want to relax, you may of course use a lot of places in the region, spots in the region, very interesting, close to nature, but also cultural places. Like in the picture you can see on the left the settlement of National Orchestra for music lovers, not just classical music. It's a splendid place to enjoy the music, and on the right the Congress Center, where a lot of meetings are held. As you can see here, maybe in the left corner, we have the logo of our Silesian voivodeships. Consists of 4 colors, waves in 4 colors. Actually, it is also is supposed to encourage you people, employees, inhabitants, tourists, to participate in 4 types of tourism which is characteristic for Silesia region, like green tourism, natural tourism, industrial tourism, religious tourism as well, and cultural tourism. So I hope you find our faculty situated in Katowice as attractive place to work, and we would be very happy to see you in Katowice soon. Thank you very much.
Okay, yes. Thank you for this presentation. Could you tell us something more about the Observatory of Urban Metropolitan Processes? What is its function? Something about it more.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting body which was founded by a few academics from Sociology, Institute of Sociology, but also people from other institutes are involved in the activity. Now there is a kind of consortium consisting of 8 universities, and within like almost 20 research teams are operating. So actually there are many topics covered by this observatory, and they answer the needs which appear in the local community. So actually they do conduct research and prepare some analysis for the cities, like for example the city of Zabrze. They prepare some expertises on environment, on culture, on operating, on functioning of some institutions in the region. So actually I would say that maybe their main aim is to provide credible knowledge for the local community in general.
That's very important, and thank you for your answer and for being here today with us. And after a short break we will start the last presentation for today. See you at 2 p.m.
Sosnowiec powstał i rozwinął się dzięki tysiącom ludzi, którzy w krótkim czasie przyjechali tu z różnych stron. Zwiedzanie zaczynamy od Wydziału Nauk Przyrodniczych, który w Sosnowcu ma swoją siedzibę w najwyższym budynku akademickim w Polsce, czyli popularnej Żylecie. Dinozaurzyca Zuzia stoi tu nie bez powodu. W Żylecie znajduje się Muzeum Nauk o Ziemi, a studiują tu przyszli geolodzy i geografowie. A teraz chodźmy zobaczyć, jak wygląda miasto z wysokości 80 metrów. Przy ulicy Będzińskiej studiują też przyszli informatycy. Pójdziemy zobaczyć, gdzie się uczą. Nieopodal Żylety znajduje się miasteczko akademickie. Chyba czas pomyśleć o zakwaterowaniu. Jeżeli już się zadomowiłaś, pora na dalsze zwiedzanie. Nowoczesny budynek przy ulicy Grota Roweckiego 5 jest jedną z siedzib Wydziału Humanistycznego Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Dominują tu języki nowożytne, a może spróbujesz swoich sił w tłumaczeniu symultanicznym? Sosnowiec powstał jako miasto wielokulturowe. Kiedyś różnymi językami mówiono na ulicach, a dziś w salach wykładowych. Pałac Dietla to jedna z pereł Sosnowca. Pochodzi z końca XIX wieku. Zwiedziłaś ciekawy zabytek, a teraz pora na odrobinę nowoczesności. Zagłębiowska Mediateka to dobre miejsce dla studentów. W Sosnowcu można dobrze spędzać czas na różne sposoby, o każdej porze dnia i roku. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Drogowa trasa średnicowa, którą właśnie jedziesz, to największa drogowa inwestycja województwa śląskiego. To właśnie tą trasą dojedziesz do Śląskiego Międzyuczelnianego Centrum Edukacji i Badań Interdyscyplinarnych, w którym od 2019 roku działa Wydział Nauk Ścisłych i Technicznych. 140 nowoczesnych laboratoriów i pracowni badawczych, multimedialna biblioteka, dziekanaty czy audiowizualne aule. Aha, widzę, że nie tylko mnie przydałby się odpoczynek. Rozgość się w wydziałowej strefie aktywności studenckiej. A teraz wyjrzyj przez okno. Obok budynku znajduje się wielofunkcyjna strefa aktywności, która łączy lokalną i uniwersytecką społeczność. Gotowa na dalsze poznawanie uroków Chorzowa? Obiecuję, że to miasto jeszcze nie raz Cię zaskoczy. Chorzowski Rynek jest prawdopodobnie jedynym placem w Polsce, który został podzielony na pół drogą szybkiego ruchu, tak zwaną estakadą. To galeria sztuki muzycznej i obrazu. Po drugiej stronie estakady mieści się siedziba Teatru Rozrywki. To jedna z najważniejszych polskich scen teatralnych. Zachwycający, prawda? Budynek Poczty Polskiej to prawdziwa neogotycka wizytówka miasta. Postindustrialne obiekty miasta znajdują się także na szlaku zabytków techniki naszego województwa, który jest najbardziej interesującą trasą turystyki industrialnej w Polsce. Pokażę Ci jeszcze zielone płuca Chorzowa, czyli Park Śląski. To blisko 600 hektarów zieleni, Śląski Park Linowy, ścieżki rowerowe i śląskie wesołe miasteczko nazywane Legendią. W parku mamy także coś dla miłośników wiedzy. Planetarium Śląski Park Nauki. A to prawdziwa legenda – Stadion Śląski. To właśnie tutaj latem odbywają się liczne koncerty, warsztaty czy zloty food trucków. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Witaj w Cieszynie, mieście, w którym stykają się dwie kultury – polska i czeska. Jak najlepiej zacząć poznawać nowe miejsce? Kierując się z punktu A do punktu B na własnych nogach. Jesteś na miejscu. Wydział Sztuki i Nauk o Edukacji. Tu kształtują się i rozwijają swoje pasje przedstawiciele nauk społecznych i humanistycznych oraz środowisk artystycznych. Cieszyński kampus jest jednym z najpiękniejszych obiektów Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Jest w tym więcej niż ziarno prawdy, nie sądzisz? Instytut Sztuk Plastycznych jest domeną ludzi sztuki, grafików, malarzy, rzeźbiarzy, rysowników, projektantów graficznych i fotografów. Uczymy tu też projektowania gier i przestrzeni wirtualnych. Instytut Sztuk Muzycznych jest kuźnią młodych instrumentalistów, wokalistów i realizatorów nagrań. Teraz przyszedł czas na zasłużony relaks. Kieruj się do centrum. Jesteś na cieszyńskim rynku. Rozejrzyj się. Ładnie tu, prawda? Ten czarujący rynek powstał pod koniec XV wieku. Nadal można tu znaleźć pozostałości po średniowiecznej zabudowie. W Cieszynie nie brakuje miejsc z dobrą kawą. Znasz tę budowlę, prawda? Rotunda w Cieszynie ma już około 1000 lat. A wiedziałaś, że w Cieszynie jest Wenecja? Chodźmy tam. Historia cieszyńskiej Wenecji sięga XVI wieku. Znajdziesz tutaj zabytkową architekturę, a także liczne puby i restauracje. Cieszyn to miasto spotkanie dwóch kultur. Po drugiej stronie rzeki są Czechy. A teraz w góry. A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody. Witaj w Katowicach, stolicy województwa śląskiego. Gotowa na spacer? Jesteś na katowickim kampusie Uniwersytetu Śląskiego. Wydział Humanistyczny wprowadził się do tego budynku w 2021 roku. Zajrzymy do środka. A teraz chodźmy odwiedzić samorząd studencki. To zaraz za rogiem przy Bankowej 14. W tym budynku można też studiować matematykę. W budynku pod numerem 12 znajduje się siedziba rektoratu. Tutaj pracują władze uczelni, a Tobie polecam Centrum Obsługi Studentów, czyli wyjątkowo kolorowe miejsce w rektoracie. Chodźmy do sąsiadów z naprzeciwka. Wydział Nauk Społecznych przy ulicy Bankowej 11 kształci socjologów, politologów i dziennikarzy, którzy szlifują swoje umiejętności w nowoczesnym studium. Studia to wiedza, książki i rozmowy ze znajomymi. Pokażę Ci miejsce, w którym połączysz wszystkie te trzy elementy. Mieści się tu Centrum Informacji Naukowej i Biblioteka Akademicka. I jeszcze jedno. Stąd jest już bardzo blisko do gwiazd. a to Wydział Prawa i Administracji. W XXI wieku wprowadził się do nowego budynku o niezwykłej architekturze. Tutaj także studenci przekuwają teorię w praktykę. Nasz kampus znajduje się nad rzeką Rawą, którą staramy się przywrócić miastu i jego mieszkańcom. Właśnie tu zorganizowaliśmy 5. edycję Śląskiego Festiwalu Nauki, w której wzięło udział 30 000 ludzi. Pora przejść na drugą stronę rzeki. Budynek Instytutu Chemii jest zabytkowy, ale badania, które w nim prowadzimy, są nowoczesne. Sprawdzimy skład chemiczny wody z Rawy. Widzę, że wciągnęła Cię praca w laboratorium. To może obejrzymy z bliska rośliny, które rosną nad Rawą. 2 kroki stąd jest Instytut Biologii, Biotechnologii i Ochrony Środowiska. Czas na spacer ulicą Warszawską, która powstała na długo zanim Katowice stały się miastem. Uważaj, żeby nie przegapić skrętu w lewo. Przy ulicy Pawła III mieści się Szkoła Filmowa imienia Krzysztofa Kieślowskiego, w której kształcimy m.in. reżyserów, operatorów i producentów filmowych. Wielokrotnie nagradzany budynek Szkoły Filmowej to połączenie tradycyjnej śląskiej architektury z finezją nowoczesności zaproponowaną przez hiszpańskich architektów. W tych pięknych wnętrzach uczą się młodzi filmowcy, których dzieła są oglądane na całym świecie. Także w Katowicach, gdzie nie brakuje kultowych kin. Czas na dłuższy spacer, w trakcie którego zobaczysz wizytówki miasta, strefę kultury i legendarny spodek. To Wydział Nauk Społecznych przy ulicy Grażyńskiego 53, gdzie uczymy przyszłych pedagogów i psychologów. Spacer ulicami Mariacką i Dworcową to dobry moment na łyk kawy. Wydział Nauk Przyrodniczych mieści się przy ulicy Jagiellońskiej. Sprawdzimy, co jest w środku. Zajmujemy się tu m.in. badaniami roślin i mikroorganizmów. Nieopodal katedry znajduje się siedziba Wydziału Teologicznego. Jesteśmy w dzielnicy Ligota, gdzie znajdują się nasze akademiki. Tutaj swoją siedzibę ma studenckie radio Egida. Opowiesz na antenie o dzisiejszej wyprawie? A to tylko początek Twojej uniwersyteckiej przygody.
Uniwersytet Śląski w Katowicach to bardzo dobre miejsce do pracy, dające duże możliwości w zakresie współpracy międzynarodowej. Od lipca 2020 roku jesteśmy członkiem Uniwersytetu Europejskiego Transform for Europe.
A laboratórium tökéletesen felszerelt, és egy kiváló helyszínt biztosít a tudományos kutatásaim elvégzésére. A kollégáim rendkívül segítőkészek.
Lavoro come microbiologo all'Università di Silesia in Katowice, dove mi occupo nella mia attività di ricerca di migliorare il futuro del nostro ambiente.
The University of Silesia is an ever-growing and evolving scientific institution where young scientists, researchers, and students can come, learn, grow, build their career, and then make a contribution back to the local population.
네, 실레지아 대학교에서 연구하고 강의하는 것은 저에게 폴란드 문화와 폴란드 언어를 더욱 깊게 이해하게 해주며 유서 깊고 다양한 실레지아 문화를 만나게 해줍니다.
Jako matka samoživitelka oceňuji možnost přizpůsobit si rozvrh hodin svým potřebám. Jako akademický pracovník plně pociťuji podporu univerzity, pokud jde o můj akademický rozvoj.
Powiększanie dobra wspólnego, jakimi są nauka i edukacja, oto unikalny składnik pracy w Uniwersytecie Śląskim.
Uniwersytet tworzą ludzie. To im staramy się zapewnić dobre warunki pracy oraz atmosferę sprzyjającą prowadzeniu badań na międzynarodowym poziomie. Działania podejmowane przez Uniwersytet są zgodne z zaleceniami Europejskiej Strategii przy zatrudnianiu naukowców, o czym świadczy przyznane Uniwersytetowi wyróżnienie HR Excellence in Research.
Nazywam się Małgorzata Myśliwiec, jestem profesorem w Instytucie Nauk Politycznych Uniwersytetu Śląskiego w Katowicach.
Sono Franco Magurno. Lavoro come microbiologo all'Università di Silesia in Katowice.
Nádudvari Ádám vagyok, és a Sziléziai Egyetem természettudományi tanszékén dolgozok, adjunktusként másfél éve.
Jmenuji se Lucie Zormanová a pracuji na Institutu pedagogiky jako odborný asistent.
My name's Alexander Lowe. I work in the Institute of Chemistry as part of the Faculty of Science and Technology.
저는 실레지아 대학교에서 연구하는 유창일이라고 합니다.
Nazywam się Ryszard Koziołek. Jestem nauczycielem, badaczem, profesorem, rektorem Uniwersytetu Śląskiego.
Nazywam się Małgorzata Chrupa-Łapniak, jestem psychologiem i pracuję w dziale HR Uniwersytetu Śląskiego.
Hello, my name is Zdzisław Ciuk and I represent Foreign Language Teaching Center of the University of Silesia, which is Studium Praktycznej Nauki Języków Obcych in Polish. So I've been teaching here for 35 years now, so I think I know this place inside out. First of all, I will give you some general information about our unit. So our unit is an interfaculty unit. We are a college of the University of Silesia, and we are conducting didactic, promotional and service activities for the university. So we deal with foreign language teaching, first of all. Then we do examining and certification of foreign language competence. We try to enhance and popularize learning foreign languages and their cultures. And we deal with developing the skills of communication in the multicultural and multilingual environment. And we also develop professional competences of foreign language teachers. Also, we do tasks aimed at the academic and local community. And that's where we are. The map maybe is not very clear, but definitely we are at the Katowice campus here in Silesia. So our unit is responsible for teaching foreign languages within the academic curricula of various courses and degrees in compliance with the inner university regulations and the demands of particular faculties and other units. And we are a staff of 45 specialist teachers of foreign languages, and we run classes in English. Do you speak English? We run classes in German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? We have classes in French. Parlez-vous français? We have classes in Spanish. Tu hablas español? In Russian. Говорите по-русски? And last but not least, Latin. Die cisne latine? Oh, this is a nice picture advertising our language courses. We also run didactic services, which include foreign language courses. We run courses in English, German, French, Russian, Spanish, Italian, Russian again, sorry. They are held in groups, individually, or for firms, companies, whatsoever, in their seats. So teachers go there and teach at their headquarters. And we have general language at various levels, and also English for special purposes, for instance, for lawyers. And this is the leaflet, part of the leaflet in Polish, advertising our language courses at our unit. We also deal with certification exams. This September we will have a session of academic certificates of foreign language competence, and people who want can be examined from on various levels, starting with A2 up to C2 levels of foreign languages. And definitely we also have those sessions in February, but for the last couple of years that was not possible because of the pandemic. So we are really keeping our fingers crossed that we will be able to have this session in September successfully. We are a didactic unit, but we also do some science and research. And first of all, we have our scientific and didactic conferences. It's a series of annual conferences with participation of the most eminent specialists in glotodidactics in Poland and worldwide. Every year in March, we get together at the campus here in Katowice, and we have lectures, presentations, workshops, whatsoever, devoted to problems connected with teaching foreign languages. The first one took part, as you can see from the poster, in 2016, and it was focused on theoretical and practical aspects. Then we had one about other special languages. Then we had materials and media in the contemporary didactics. Then we had a session on the quality in teaching foreign languages. And this is an important one. The 6th of March 2020 was the very last face-to-face meeting at the campus here in Katowice before the pandemic started. So for the long time it was the last opportunity to get together and see each other face-to-face before those lockdowns, quarantines, whatsoever. And unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time, we had a chance to meet online for the next two series of conferences in March 2021 and this March 2 months ago. Hopefully, again, we keep our fingers crossed that we will be able to see each other face-to-face at the next annual conference in March next year. So let's hope it is possible. And after each conference, we have those post-conference publications. These are series of peer-reviewed publications. So we gather the material from the previous conference and put it in the form of a book. And so far we have had those books being printed by the printing house of the university. And I just happen to have the latest issue of the last year's conference in a form of a book. It's brand new, newly printed. We also deal with popularization activities. And the best, the first and the only one is the Silesian Festival of Science, Śląski Festiwal Nauki. It's a big event held at the campus here in Katowice, and it attracts thousands, literally thousands of people who come to this place and enjoy various activities. And we are also a small part of this event. We have our festival stand full of interactive activities, quizzes, happenings aimed at popularization of foreign languages and cultures. Some of our staff members run lectures. For instance, we have a cycle on Bruce Springsteen's impact on science, education and culture. And some of them have workshops on multimodality, visual materials in teaching, parental support for children in their learning. And here we have a nice photograph of our festival stand. So as you can see, we have some French connection. In the middle we have a man dressed up as a Scotsman. It happens to be me, by the way. And then we have a visitor from Hofgaard, from J.K. Rowling's stories. And the last but not least could be an Englishman in New York. Why not? Then we also celebrate the European Day of Languages, which is held every year on the 26th of September, but we do it just around this date, and we provide lectures and workshops for school learners. On this day, youngsters from Katowice and Silesia area come to the campus here in Katowice and take part in some kind of lectures, workshops, whatsoever, presentations devoted to foreign languages. And these are examples of the posters from previous years. And sadly, again, the last two events took part, but they were again online. I mean, that was better than nothing. But we still, I will repeat myself, keep our fingers crossed that the next session, which is in September this year, will be possible to be done in a face-to-face, on a face-to-face basis. So basically, that's all I wanted to tell you. It's not the quantity, it's the quality that counts. So it was short, but I hope enjoyable. So these are the contact details to me, and if there are any questions, I'm ready to answer them. So I'm waiting for questions, if there are any.
Thank you for a brief presentation. Can you tell us if university employees can take part in our courses?
Sure, definitely. That's, you know, it's open to everybody. There are students, there are university employees, there are learners from secondary schools. Whoever wants can join our courses easily and be there. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a nice information, and thank you for your presentation and being here today.
Thank you very much. Yes, enjoy the rest of the virtual job fair. By the way, yeah.
There are 2 more days of virtual job fair before us. Please remember to check the details of the agenda on our website. You can find the link below. See you tomorrow.